He continues to be ageless. He led the Rangers with 17 wins last year. His leadership by example is an inspiration to
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
He continues to be ageless. He led the Rangers with 17 wins last year. His leadership by example is an inspiration to his teammates. And he's back, healthy, and making his 2016 debut today. Colby Lewis takes the mound to face the Seattle Mariners next on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT high-speed internet. Well, a beautiful Wednesday afternoon here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. The Rangers and the Seattle Mariners getting set to wrap up this three-game series. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Graves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us. A great day for baseball. Rangers looking to win the first rubber game of the year and win the first series of the year as they take on the Mariners. And today they turn to the grizzled veteran, Colby Lewis.
You know, Buzz, it's very interesting when you look at last season and all the injuries that the Rangers had. One of the guys that stayed healthy, took the ball for every start, threw 200 innings, was Colby Lewis, who was coming off a hip surgery that no pitcher ever came back from before at a major league game. So he has been an inspiration. He's also pitched well in his career against Seattle. He's had 14 starts. He has a losing record, but a very nice ERA, a good strikeout to walk ratio. And Buzz, as we were talking before the game started, one thing, Colby, if you watched yesterday's game, especially the last three innings, you better be careful about the first pitch fastball, because they're up there swinging.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Colby, as much as he's been around, very well took notes of what happened to Tom Williamson and Andrew Faulkner last night in that eighth inning. So Colby facing the Mariners. We'll have the finale of this three-game set from Globe Life Park. Rangers ready to go as they take on Seattle. Right back with the lineups and the first pitch. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Now, today's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. And we'd like to welcome all of you and thank you so much for your service. Well, a great day, a little bit of a breeze, but blowing out. The wind has turned around to blow out towards center field. But it's a great afternoon, bright sunshine, and lineup cards being exchanged at home plate. Let's head down and check in with Emily Jones.
Well, Buzz, as you and Tom talked about at the top of the show, season after season, surgery after surgery, Colby Lewis continues to go to the mound every 5th day for these Texas Rangers, and the 2016 season is no exception as he comes off his career-best 17-win campaign in 2015. He does admit this one might have a little bit of a different feel.
No, I feel really good. I feel like my body's ready. You know, I mean, I felt really good at the beginning of the year last year until, you know, what was it, first week of May or something like that, until then when the knee went, and then just dealt with it after that. So, yeah, not, or should say, just used to, you know, aches and pains, and you deal with it and move on. But yeah, I feel really good right now.
Ever the epitome of consistency for these Texas Rangers, for the pitching staff over the last several years. Will be nice to see Colby back out on a mound in a Rangers uniform here today and throughout the rest of the season, fellas.
Well, you're right about that, Emily. The Rangers are tickled to have a guy like Colby Lewis out here, and he's facing a very familiar foe in the Seattle Mariners. Tom's going to tell you about the Mariners lineup that Colby will face.
A little bit different lineup. Some of the same guys, but different order. Leonis Martin will lead off against the right-hander. Kyle Seager moves up to second. Robinson Cano is third. Nelson Cruz is playing right field. He's the cleanup hitter. Adam Lind gets the start at first base. Seth Smith will be the designated hitter. Luis Sardinas, with a long home run last night, will bat seventh, and he'll play left field today. Steve Clevenger gets the start behind the plate. And the shortstop batting ninth is Ketel Marte.
And that Mariner lineup is put forth by Scott Service, facing Colby Lewis, the 36-year-old right-hander from Bakersfield, California. Lots of experience, as we mentioned, against the Seattle Mariners. This is a 7-8 record that Colby brings in against the Mariners. He's coming off a very solid spring. He said he was encouraged at how things felt the last couple of times out. He's been working on getting that good downhill plane going. He said finishing off his fastball and breaking ball. We talked to him after his next to the last start in spring training. He said he finally had gotten to the point where he felt comfortable getting that down and away to right-handers and spotting up the fastball on either side of the plate. Now we'll take a look at the Ranger defense behind Colby this afternoon. The defense brought to you by DeMontron RV. Outfield a little bit different with Justin Ruggiano in left. Ian Desmond gets his first start as a major leaguer in center field. Shin-Soo Choo is in right. Infield of Rua and Odor on the right side. Alberto and Beltre on the left side with TCU product Brian Holiday catching for Colby Lewis. These two teamed up, Colby Lewis and Brian Holiday teamed up on Friday night, the last exhibition game that they worked. And a new center fielder with Ian Desmond out there, and he looked really good in spring training, patrolling the vast areas in surprise in center field. Always the question to pose to Jeff Bannister, are you all concerned about Ian Desmond picking up center field? He said, look, if the guy could play major league shortstop, I think he's one of the most difficult positions to play. I'm not concerned about him in center field. Leonis Martin takes outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin, 1 out of 5, had his double in last night's ball game. That drove in his first run of 2016. And Colby jumping out in front, 1-2. Very comfortable afternoon, 72 degrees as we begin play here. 107 in the afternoon Central Time. Breaking ball, and Colby taking a little extra off that. That was the curveball. 2-2.
Now, Leonis is a fairly free swinger at the plate. So he showed a little discipline laying off that curveball.
Another foul. Well, you had mentioned last night, Todd, before he got that double, that when Leonis is swinging the bat well, he takes the ball the other way and is a little more patient. He had a very patient at bat last night and kind of capitalized on a mistake pitch.
Yeah, he waited until he got a good one, and when he did, he did. He hit down the right field line for a triple.
Off the end of the bat, shot foul to the left. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the Mariners putting 6 runs on the board last night in the 8th inning. It really broke that ball game open. Winning that game 10-2. Rangers took the opener of the season 3-2 here on Monday. Got him swinging. Colby pulling the string, and Leonis Martin is punched out.
We saw a pretty good assortment of pitches there. Colby is not a guy that's going to light up the radar gun, but he doesn't have to with a slider or a curveball. And there's his changeup that just kind of nosedives away from Leonis's bat. And he gets the first batter to strike out.
Well, Leonis probably saw a lot of those playing behind Colby from his center field position, but a little bit different when you're on the other end of that. Kyle Seager moving up to the number 2 slot. And he takes just off the outer edge. Rangers going to an overshift with the left-handed hitting Seager. DeAndre Alberto, the shortstop, just about a step on the first base side of second. Another changeup. Colby breaking that out here today, and you got to think that's a direct result of what he saw last night happen to Wilhelmsen in that inning.
Yeah, I would say Colby's game plan will be to certainly mix his pitches and give them a good assortment of his off-speed pitches.
Good breaking ball, just missed. 2-1. Looking right down the third baseline from the front row. Our RF camera roaming around Globe Life Park to give you all kinds of vantage points. 3-1 now as Seager takes high and away. So with 1 out, Seager ahead of the count, and he'll be followed by Robinson Cano, the second baseman. And ball 4 misses. A 1 out walk. Cano coming to the plate. Now, Martin Perez in last night's game walked 4 in his 6 innings of work, and he was able to work around that pretty effectively. Gave up only 2 runs because he allowed only 2 base hits. Had a couple of double plays behind him. That's the kind of thing that Colby now will be looking for with Seager at first and Cano at the plate. Cano, though, has had pretty good success against Colby over the years. 375 average with a home run and a couple of RBI. Martin Perez last night doing a very good job, and 88 pitches worth in 6 innings. And that pitch count is really quite reasonable when you consider he had 4 walks and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, I think when you look at the walks, Buzz, one of them was to Kyle Seager, who had been 10 for 20 and 3 home runs against him. So he's obviously pitching careful to Seager. Another one was to Nelly Cruz. He pitched carefully to Nelly. The one walk that I think you'd have to say was not a good walk, and Martin would be the first to say it, was the leadoff walk in the 3rd inning to Leonis Martin. Now, no one scored that inning. He pitched around it, which was nice. So even though he walked 4, watching him last night didn't feel like he was wild.
Towering drive to right. 2 is going back. He is watching this one sail into the Ranger bullpen, and Cano has homered in all 3 games. The Mariners out in front 2-0.
Cano hit fastballs in the first 2 games. That one looked like a high changeup that he waited on nicely, timed it well, and hit it solidly.
Robinson Cano homering in the first at bat of a game for the 2nd time in this series. Changeup up and a little bit away, but not exactly where Colby wanted it.
No, several of the changeups that Colby's thrown have started out there, but then they've dropped and tailed away from the left-hand hitters. That one just kind of stayed on the same plane and never got the movement that Colby wanted it to.
Nelson Cruz takes another breaking ball. This one in for a strike. It's 0-2. Cruz 2 out of 6 in the first 2 ball games. Hit his first home run of the year last night. Last year he set a new career high for himself with those 44 home runs. Anzer Alberto unloads. There are 2 gone. No, base is empty now, and Adam Lind coming up. Didn't see Lind last night. He took an 0 for 4 in the first game. Adam Lind had just 9 career at bats against Colby Lewis. He is 2 for 9. And he takes a knee-high strike. One and one. Lind, one of the guys brought over to the Mariners by new general manager Jerry Dipoto. Talked about offensively, they needed some guys to get on base a little bit more, and Lind has the reputation of being an on-base guy. Maybe not a great average, but the on-base percentage always very good. Also some power, and he brings the added dimension of being a good defensive first baseman. Got fisted and shoots that foul to the left. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Sharply hit and through the hole on the right side. Breaking ball, and Lind stayed back enough to be able to pull that between Rua and Odor. Colby Ward from the stretch again.
Tough opening night. He struck out 3 times, went 0 for 4. So he has his first hit as a Mariner, first hit of the season. Waited on a changeup that time. He was out in front of it, but still got the good part of the bat on it. Hit it solidly.
The 1-on-2 out. Seth Smith, who came in last night as a pinch hitter and ended up going 2 for 3 with a home run. 1 ball, no strikes. Smith last season 12 home runs, a .248 average for the left-handed swinger. 2-0. Well, Colby now already up to 25 pitches in this first frame. Struck out Leonis Martin to open up the ballgame. Then Kyle Seager drew a walk. Robinson Cano, a towering home run, a ground ball out by Cruz. Then the base hit by Adam Lind. Now 2-1 to Seth Smith. Colby, for the 7th time in his career, pitching in the opening rotation for the Rangers. That is tied for 2nd most in Ranger annals. 3-1. Leader of that pack, Kenny Rogers, was on 8 opening day rotations. Charlie Hupp, Bobby Witt, and now Colby, all with 7. And ball 4, 2 aboard for Luis Sardinas. Second walk of the inning. Doug Brocail going to make a quick visit to the mound.
Long inning for Colby. 28 pitches he's thrown. Sardinas hit a home run last night right-handed that went about 7 or 8 rows back. Just guessing, but it had to be one of the longest home runs he's hit. Last year Most of his time was spent in AAA. He had 100 at-bats in the big leagues with Milwaukee. 490, 500 at-bats altogether. And he hit 5 or 6 home runs. No, I think he hit 1 home run last year. Total in his career, in over 2,000 at-bats, he's hit 6. So he's not known for his power, but you wouldn't have known it by the one he hit last night.
Yeah, last night was his first major league home run.
Yeah.
And it
was
not a cheapie.
No. He got a hold of it.
So 2 on with 2 outs. Gardenius, the switch hitter, batting left-handed, and takes outside for ball 1.
He has exactly 6 home runs and 2,000 at-bats coming into the season. Minor league and a handful at the big league level.
To left field, Ruggiano retreating and makes the grab. That will do it. A 30-pitch first inning for Colby Lewis. The Mariners scored twice and lead to a half inning in the books. Seattle 2, the Rangers coming up. For 2 against Colby Lewis. Now the Rangers come to bat trying to play catch up, and Tom's going to tell you about the Southwest Airlines Rangers batting order.
A lot of changes in the Rangers lineup. Shin-Soo Choo will lead off. Ian Desmond moves up to the 2nd spot in the lineup. Prince Fielder and Adrian Beltre are 3rd and 4th. Rougned Odor will bat 5th. Ryan Rua gets the start at 1st and bats 6th, followed by Justin Ruggiano, Brian Holliday the catcher, and batting 9th is the shortstop, Hanser Alberto.
And that lineup will be facing the 30-year-old left-hander, or 29, excuse me. I don't want to put an extra year on Wade Miley. Left-hander last year that toiled for the Boston Red Sox. Originally came up in the Arizona organization. Made his major league debut back in 2011. 11-11 last year with the Red Sox. And Shin-Soo Choo up in that leadoff spot takes strike 1. Miley very much a wily veteran left-hander, crafty. He can tune it up though into the low 90s. Pretty good assortment of fastball off-speed pitches. Works very quickly, as you can tell. That's not. Don't adjust your TV sets. It's not you. Wade Miley is working fast, as he always does. Out of play. Matter of fact, he was the 2nd fastest to Mark Burley. Mark Burley threw a pitch every 15.4 seconds, I believe it was, and it was almost a 2-second gap between he and Wade Miley, but Miley was the 2nd fastest. Into the shift, right to the shortstop Marte, and Choo is out number 1. Take a look at the Seattle Mariner defense. You already saw Marte, the shortstop. Around the infield, you have Adam Lind at first, Robinson Cano at second. Kyle Seager joins Marte on the left side. Luis Sardinius, the start in left field. Leonis Martin in center. Nelson Cruz in right. And Steve Clevenger. getting the start behind the plate. Here's Ian Desmond, and he takes a tailing fastball for strike one. Nothing and two. Desmond had his first hit in a Ranger uniform last night, an infield hit. And it took an replay appeal to get that hit in the books. He originally was called out at first, but the replay showed otherwise. Got him swinging. 3-pitch strikeout for Wade Miley. 2 gone, and Prince Fielder coming up.
Miley mixes his speeds up very well. Off speed, fastball at 90, and then a slider down and slightly out of the strike zone. Good assortment of pitches. Purpose of the pitcher is to disrupt the timing of the hitter, and saw a good example of it in that at bat.
Yeah, you know, we talk a lot about velocity as far as pitchers are concerned, but I would think the guys that are able to change speeds, no matter how hard they throw, if they have a big variation in speeds and have reasonably good location, that's tough on a hitter too, isn't it?
That's way tougher, I think. I mean, it's nice if you've got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and the variations in speeds of your other pitches and the ability to throw them. But if it's just a guy that just throws hard, big league hitters will adjust to the speed. It doesn't matter whether it's 89 or 99. But the guys that can vary the speeds, vary the types of pitches, and throw them for strikes, those are the guys that are winning big.
Well, a quick and easy 1-2-3 inning for Wade Miley. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. Rangers gone in order. After one at Globe Life Park in Arlington. The Mariners 2, the Rangers nothing. Folks, this week only T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Just go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment of America's fastest-growing network, LTE Network. Steve Clevenger, the number 8 hitter and catcher for the Mariners, starting off here in the second inning. Colby Lewis trying to rebound from a 30-pitch first inning that saw him give up the 2-run Robinson Cano home run. A couple of walks mixed in there, and Colby trying to settle in and get the bottom of the order to start things off. Clevenger, Marte, and then back to the top for Leonys Martin. 3 balls and a strike now. Clevenger spent time with Baltimore, originally came up with the Chicago Cubs. Goes the other way, but Alberto had him played well. 1 out. Next will be Ketel Marte, the shortstop. Well, the Rangers finish up here today, and then it's on to the West Coast, the first trip of the year. They have 4 in Anaheim against the Angels, and then 3 with the Seattle Mariners next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Rangers have still not announced who the 5th starter is going to be. That spot in the rotation comes up on Friday in Anaheim. Right now it's TBA. So those 2 gentlemen, Doug Brocail and Jeff Bannister, talking things over, mulling their options. A.J. Griffin had been the popular choice among folks keeping an eye on things. He is down at AAA. 3 balls, no strikes now to Marte. But Derek Holland will start tomorrow night against Hector Santiago. Matt Shoemaker goes for the Angels on Friday, and then it's Cole Hamels and Garrett Richards, and matchup of opening day starters on Saturday, and then Sunday Martin Perez and to be announced for the Angels. 3-1 pitch. Ruggiano casually drifting toward the left field foul line. That is out number 2. Tomorrow night, folks, now take note, because Fox Sports 1 is going to have that game. We will not be with you, but turn into FS1. And tomorrow night at 8:30 Texas time, you'll be able to see the Rangers and the Angels from the Big A. We'll be back with you on Friday. Leonis Martin went down swinging to start things off. Hits this one well to right field. Chu is going to stop. That ball's gone. Kind of a typical Leonis Martin home run, a reasonably low line drive that just kept on carrying. Mariners now leading 3-0, and that is the 8th home run hit by the Mariners in these first 3 games.
It looked like Martin got a changeup that stayed up. Cano hit a changeup for his 2-run homer in the first inning. Let's take a look. No, looked like a slider maybe. Off-speed pitch, low 80s. Martin waited on it. Off the bat, it looked like it might be a line drive right to Chu in right field, but it just kept going into the second row.
Maybe a backup slider that got down, but it never really had the bite on it. So, a couple of home runs in the early going here, and it's a 3-0 Seattle lead for Kyle Seager, who takes the next pitch low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Those line drives got out of there quickly. Buzz, we want to send our best to Louise Sullivan, who's at the game today. Louise is 105 years old. Threw out the first pitch. She's watching the game down in the Dr. Pepper suite. If you talk to Louise and ask her what her secret for longevity is, one of the things she'll say is she drinks 9 Dr. Peppers every day.
There you go.
Something like that. So, Louise, I hope you can hear us right now down in the Dr. Pepper suite. If you're down there, Steve Busby and Tom Greaves send their best, and congratulations on a great first pitch today. That was pretty impressive.
Louise, that is. I tell you, that the Dr. Pepper regimen, I may have to do that for my arm. She throws a lot better than I do right now.
Now, I understand Jim Knox will be making his way down there, so have a Dr. Pepper and get ready for Knoxie. He'll be down there in a little while, Louise. And we're going to play back the first pitch so that you can watch it again. Louise used to be a math teacher at Pasco High School. She lives over near TCU. 105 years old and lives in a house all by herself. A lot of help from her neighbors. And she loves Ranger baseball. I know that. Buzz, you think you and I would be out there when we're 105 throwing out the first pitch?
Seager lifts one down the line and left. It is twisting back into the seats, out of the reach of Justin Ruggiano. No, I was surprised. The first pitch you and Bobby Jones threw out, I thought you threw the ball real well the other day.
Well, it got there anyway.
Yeah, it did. At Globe Life Park, going back to 2012, Kyle Seager, and it's no surprise to Ranger fans, 371 average. That is third, I should say, in averages by visiting players, Kipnis and Miguel Cabrera. And Seager gone on strikes here as Colby Lewis gets his third strikeout. But Leonis Martin with his first home run of the year puts more on the board for Seattle after 1.5, 3-0 Mariners. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas.
Buzz, my wife just texted me and said that I called Elizabeth Sullivan Louise Sullivan. If I did, it's because Louise Sullivan was my mother's best friend. And so, Elizabeth, if I called you by the wrong name, I'm embarrassed and I am sorry.
I would bet that she'd forgive me for that.
Maybe my wife's wrong. Maybe I did say Elizabeth and I didn't say Louise. And I didn't even have to apologize.
One ball and one strike to Adrian Beltre. Beltre leading off the Rangers second. Adrian 1 for 7 so far this year. Lynn diving for it or laying down for it. He can't quite get it there. That ball is stuck under Adam Lynn's glove, who looked like he was going after it in underwater in slow motion.
It looked like he got far enough. It looked like the ball didn't go near the end of his glove. It looked like it went more near his wrist. Let's take a look. Adrian hits a pitch well out of the strike zone. On the ground. Not sure exactly where the ball did go. Went into right field for a base hit, though.
I think you're right, Tom. It went behind his glove, between his glove and his arm. The Rangers will take it. That's their first base runner, first base hit. And Rougned Odor slices one to left center field. Beltre going for third. The throw not in time. Into second is Odor. And the Rangers running the bases with abandon.
Well, it just goes to show you don't have to be the fastest runner to be a good base runner. Rangers are encouraged to be aggressive on the base paths. And Adrian checked where the ball was, challenged the outfielders. Luis Sardinas is playing left field. He's primarily an infielder. Thought he had a shot at Beltre. Turned out he didn't. And not only is Adrian safe at third base, but the batter, Rougned Odor, instead of being on first, is on second. So a good start to the second inning for the Rangers.
Well, second and third, nobody out. Here's Ryan Rua, who had another hot spring for the Rangers. You remember last year, Rua in spring training won the starting job in left field because of his hot spring, and this year no exception to the numbers. Pitch outside to him. 404 average in 22 ball games for Rua this spring. Marte, the shortstop, long throw, got him in to score Beltre. So Rua on the ground out, gets the RBI. Rangers are on the board now. They have cut into the Mariner lead. It's 3-1 Seattle. And I guess if you wanted to nitpick about the at-bat, you'd say, well, he hit it to the right side. He could have advanced Odor also, but you got the run home. That's the primary thing.
Yep. Yeah, ideally you'd like to see that. But in the meantime, there's a man in scoring position for the rest of the guys. See if they can bring one in.
Here's Justin Ruggiano. Ruggiano a year ago was on the Mariners opening day roster. Chops that foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Ruggiano, a Texas A&M Aggie. Last year with Seattle with the Dodgers. Great numbers against left-handed pitching, and he does it again. He lines it to left toward the gap. Odor will score. The throw going into second. The slide, he's safe. Ruggiano with the RBI double. It's a 3-2 ball game.
Well, that's what we've been waiting for. The Rangers put together, bunch some hits together, get a nice little rally going. Down by 3, come right back in the second inning with 2 and still have a man in scoring position and only 1 out. It was changeup, then a fastball, and then another changeup. And Justin hits the best pitch of the 3, really, a changeup down and away. Lined it sharply into left field and never hesitated. Went all the way to second base, turned a single into a double.
So still just 1 out. Brian Holiday takes strike 1. Ruggiano getting the key RBI double in his first at bat in a Ranger uniform. 1 ball and 1 strike. At first dive by Ruggiano into second base, and he just did beat that throw. One ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Holiday picked up by the Rangers from the Detroit Tigers. Came over on the 29th of March. 16 games this spring with the Tigers. He had a very good spring. He had 438, 4 home runs, and 12 RBI for Detroit. 2-2. Popped him up. Cano angling out. Has it for out number 2. Staying at second is Ruggiano. Now Hanser Alberto. Now the bottom 4 players in the Ranger order today, all seeing their first action this young season. Rua, Ruggiano, Holiday, and Alberto. Talked about Hanser Alberto winning the Dominican League batting title over the offseason, the winter. Carried that right over to spring training. He hit 392 for the spring, and that includes a 484 average in the last 13 games.
He had a big hit last year in one of the games in Toronto, too. That won a ball game.
Sure did. Down to the count here. No balls, 2 strikes. Got him swinging. Finally, with a good assortment of off-speed pitches, gets the punch out. But the Rangers are on the board. 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 after 2. So Mariners 3 and the Rangers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Now the Rangers cutting into the Mariner lead. 3-2 now as Colby Lewis heads back out to the hill, and Colby facing Robinson Cano, who launched a 2-run home run into the Ranger bullpen his first time up. And he takes strike 1. I mentioned the numbers that Cano has against Colby. And for Cano, that was his 2nd career home run in 25 at bats. This one popped up. Shallow left, coming on Ruggiano, and Justin there, plenty of time. Handles that for out number 1. Well, during the break, between innings, we had a chance to talk to Jeff Bannister. Now a chance to talk with Jeff Bannister. Jeff, one thing your ball club has done, and it looks like at every single ball game we see, they continue to come back. They are not going to get down and do nothing about it.
Yeah, very similar to what we did last year. These guys believe in what they can do offensively, so there's no quit in them. They're going to continue to come at you, and they're going to find a way to score runs.
And Bandy, what about your thought with the lineup today, getting a lot of the extra guys into the lineup in the 3rd game?
Yeah, really looked at the schedule, saw that we'd probably get Miley in this game, and the situation to get those right-handers off the bench and engaged. Didn't want too much time to pass between spring training and in the season, that we get these guys engaged. It was a day game after a night game, and we get some guys off their legs, and we can get these guys in the game to get them, help them find the rhythm of the season also.
Jeff, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Go get them.
As always, thank you guys.
Okay.
Now you saw Nelson Cruz with that broken bat looper to left field for a base hit. Well, Cruz 1 out of 2, and he's now 3 out of 8 for the series. 4th hit of the afternoon against Colby Lewis, and 1 on, 1 out for Adam Lind, who grounded a single through the right side in the 1st. One ball and no strikes. Lind went 0 for 4 with the 3 punch outs, as Tom told you, in that opener against Colby Lewis. Lind now 3 out of 10 in his career. 2 balls, no strikes. Last year, Adam Lind, another 20 home run season in 149 games. Out of play. Well, you look at this Mariner lineup against a right-handed pitcher like Colby Lewis. The only right-handed bat that Scott Servais has had into the lineup is Nelly Cruz. Everybody else is either a left-handed hitter or a switch hitter capable of batting from the left side. Double play ground ball to Odor. To Alberto. To Rua. 4-6-3, and that takes care of the single. So 3 batters and 3 outs in the third. After 2.5 it remains. Seattle 3 and Texas 2.
Globe Life Park, the Rangers trail the Mariners as we continue on here at Globe Life Park. A very special guest, Buzz and Tom. Jim Knox here along with Edith Sullivan. 105 years young, threw out the first pitch. What was that like, Edith?
It was wonderful. I'm sorry that I didn't throw it high enough because it touched the ground. But I practiced day before yesterday and I did better.
Elizabeth Sullivan, you did a terrific job. I thought a lot of people thought it was a curveball. That's what Kevin Minch told me.
Oh my goodness, how wonderful. I'm glad he made the mistake.
There we go. 105 years young. And I understand you stopped driving last year. How come?
Well, because I couldn't get a driver's license. They wanted me to drive around again and I was afraid to.
This has been a great day for you. You got a lot of people you came by and said congratulations. Who's been your favorite? I saw Pudge here talking to you.
Oh yes, he's wonderful. He was my favorite for 15 years. You know, when he was there, I couldn't wait to see him throw out somebody at second.
There we go.
You know,
all right, Elizabeth, we appreciate the time. We'll let you get back to enjoying the game. Congratulations. Great first pitch.
Thank you, and I appreciate you.
All right, Elizabeth Sullivan, 105 years young. Buzz, can you believe it?
No, I can't, Oxy. That's great.
Oh, by the way, they said the secret to your longevity because why? What do you drink each day?
I drink 3 Dr. Peppers a day. Everybody says it has too much sugar, but so far it's kept me alive.
So there we go. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thanks, Buzz.
Only 3.
Elizabeth, yeah, I thought it was more than that. Elizabeth told me one day that her doctors told her that the soft drink had too much sugar, and she said, well, you know, the funny thing is they're all dead and I'm still alive.
And there's Elizabeth coming off the field after that great first pitch.
That's great. I'm so glad she could come out and do that.
Yep. Now 1 out after the strikeout of Shin-Soo Choo. Here's Ian Desmond. 1-2 now. Desmond, a strikeout victim his first time up. Ian now 1 out of 8 in his career against Wade Miley with a home run. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And inside has been eyeballing that one. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Ian trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the third. Prince Fielder to follow. Chopped right down the third baseline. It's a fair ball. Seager makes the play. 2 gone. Now 2 outs before Prince Fielder steps in. Let's send it over to John Radigan for a Chevy game break. All right, John, thank you. And Toronto giving folks fits in the early going and hitting home runs, but not as prolifically as the Seattle Mariners have been. Mariners have 8 home runs in this series.
Yeah, Toronto lost that game yesterday. The game ended on a slide by Jose Bautista that was ruled to be an illegal slide. Caused a double play to end the game. So that new rule about the plays at second base came into play right off the bat this year.
And off the end of the bat a bit for Prince Fielder that Leonis Martin handles, and that'll do it. Rangers out in order after 3 complete in Arlington. It's the Mariners 3 and the Rangers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Baseball live with the MLB At Bat app on MLB.com. You can stay up to the moment at any moment with game day and live game video highlights plus StatCast, more, and a lot of news in there too. Download MLB.com At Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Top of the 4th inning, Seth Smith, the designated hitter and 6th place hitter, will start things off. Smith to be followed by Sardinius and Clevenger. Colby Lewis missing low and inside for ball 1. Lewis has allowed the 3 runs on 4 hits. Been much more efficient the last couple of innings, with the exception of Leonis Martin line drive home run. Seth Smith drew a walk back in the 1st inning. 1-1. Colby's done a pretty good job of not allowing the Mariner hitters to look for that first pitch fastball or a first pitch middle of the plate strike. Changed speeds, he's changed locations very effectively. All 3 runs, as the Mariners will do, have come via the home run. 3-1. Second walk to Smith. He starts the 4th by garnering a free pass. So here comes Sardinhas. Sardinhas skied to left field. That ended the Mariner first inning. Luis last year with Milwaukee, he was traded to Milwaukee. He went over there in the Giovanni Gallardo deal before the 2015 season. Tries to bunt it and drops it foul back behind Brian Holiday. Sardinhas, 36 games last year with Milwaukee, hit just a .196. Been a very versatile player, as Tom was telling you, that Rangers felt he could play a variety of positions, both infield and outfield. He and Rougned Odor both came to the big leagues at the same time. Split time a little bit until Odor won the second base job at that point. Rua to second for the force, and not quite in time with Colby covering first to get Sardinhas, who really runs well.
That was a good try, though. Yep, Colby got over there in time. Alberto fires the ball back to him. They just didn't have time to do it. Nice play by Ryan, though. Tougher play for a right-hand thrower. If you got a left-handed thrower, maybe you have a little different result. In fact, we saw Mitch turn a double play last night on a hard hit ball right at him. It's easier to catch it and throw it to second if you're left-handed, because you don't have to make that spin, turn your body to get in position to throw like Ryan did as a right-handed thrower. But they got the lead runner, and that was a good play.
So Sardinhas now at first with 1 out. Here's Steve Clevenger. Clevenger had a ground ball to short as he led off the second inning. A similar ground ball here, and the Rangers would have another 2-ball, and we'd be out of the inning.
Clevenger's been around a while. He's been a very good minor league hitter. 2,500 at bats in the minor leagues over a pretty long period of time. He's a .310 hitter.
Off speed and a bit low. That evens the count. As we talked about last night, Clevenger and Chris Iannetta being brought over by Jerry Dipoto to shore up the catching for the Seattle Mariners. Mike Zunino, the longtime prospect, the #1 prospect for the Mariners for a couple of years, and he had a shot for 3 years at the big league level and just never developed offensively the way they thought he would.
Yeah, if you look back at Zunino, Buzz, and I don't know if it would have been any different. It just seems like he was rushed to the big leagues with a very high draft choice, a lot of talent. But I don't know if, 500 or 600 at bats at the minor leagues wouldn't have served him better.
There goes Sardinhas. He got a big jump. The throw that got him. Alberto slapping that tag down hard on Sardinhas, sliding by and knocked his hat off.
Well, a strong throw by Brian Holiday. I didn't think he had any chance to get Sardinhas at second base. And a pretty good jump, a pretty good lead. But he gets tagged right on top of the head. Take a look at it. Strong throw. Already see nice addition that Brian Holiday is. There's the tag.
Andrew Alberto getting that left foot right in front of the bag too made it hard for Sardinhas to get that hand in there.
Yeah, exactly.
No
intent to tag him on the head. That's just where the head happened to be when he made the tag.
Rua takes care of the ground ball and beats Clevenger to the bag. That'll do it. So the leadoff walk, no problem. Colby works around the caught stealing. Rangers will come to bat in the bottom of the fourth, trailing the Mariners 3-2.
Park in Arlington, Rangers trailing the Mariners by a score of 3-2, and a couple of ceremonial first pitches thrown out at the ballpark today, and one was by this guy right here, 19-year-old Brandon Jones, who is a NASCAR Xfinity driver who just happens to be driving a Texas Rangers truck this weekend. What was it like when you found out the Rangers would be one of your sponsors?
Yeah, what an awesome sponsorship, really. The car looks awesome. I've got an awesome fire suit this weekend. Looks like one of the jerseys that the guys wear. So it's going to be a great weekend. You know, hopefully they're going to bring some luck to that 33 car for us this weekend. Maybe we can sneak up there and get them a win here at Texas.
So you raced Friday night, car number 33. You're 19 years old. How long have you been racing?
I've been racing for about 6 years now. Started when I was 13, and I've progressed pretty fast. You know, I think where we're at now is a good spot to be. Run Xfinity for a couple of years, try to get us a few wins, a couple, you know, maybe a championship here and there. And then that's probably the ultimate goal, and then one day maybe make it a cup.
As far as your baseball career out there on the mound today, how, I would assume, driving since the age of 13, you didn't get a whole lot of chance to play baseball. How comfortable were you out there?
Well, I've been practicing a couple weeks now. You know, I didn't want to go out there and ground it for sure. You know, I wanted to try to at least make it to the plate. It wasn't a problem at all. So had a great time. Really fun to meet some of the guys out there on the field, and you know, threw out the first ball. It was fun.
I know you grew up in Atlanta, so are you a Braves fan, or can we get you over to our side for a little? At least maybe Texas be your National League team.
I mean,
your American League team.
I think you've pulled me over for sure. I'm definitely a Texas Ranger fan now. Meeting all the guys, meeting the team owner. It's been a great day.
Were you a Braves fan growing up?
Here and there, you know, I've had a lot of family members, obviously in Georgia, that have been Braves fans. So, you know, I kind of had to stick with them a little bit on their side just to kind of play off the family side. But Texas Rangers is an awesome team, and I look forward now to supporting them.
Thanks so much. We appreciate your time. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back now to you guys.
All right, thank you. You better check his driver's license. I'm not sure he's old enough to be driving those cars. Wow.
He did a great job with that interview.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful looking car, too. Wow. Oh, that's exciting. We've got someone to root for now.
Red, white, and blue on that number 33 car.
We'll be watching.
Now Adrian Beltre with a fly ball to right to start off the Ranger fourth. Now Rougned Odor. In the second inning, Beltre and Odor opened the inning with back-to-back singles. And they both came around to score, put the two Ranger runs on the board in that frame. Rougned with his first hit of 2016, that single to left. Looked like he had a pitch that stayed up a little bit for him, but fouled it back, and it's 1-2. Odor, the native Venezuelan. And he is gone on strikes as Miley. There's a good case of Tom that changing the speeds a little bit. He pumped it up. That was 94. But you see a lot of different speeds lowered, and then all of a sudden he adds that little extra, and it's hard to catch up.
Yeah, when you have to be concerned about his off-speed pitches, especially the changeup, and then he pops one on the inside part of the plate at 94. It's hard to, it really is hard to catch up with that. And he mixes them up in a way where it's hard to look for any one pitch.
That strikeout from Miley, his 4th of the year. And he pumps in a strike to Ryan Rule, who grounded to short his first time, and he's going to hit a 3-hopper out to Cano. And Wade Miley, a very quick inning. He is now retired. 7 straight, make that 8 straight, Rangers. Texas gone in the 4th. After 4 complete, it's still 3-2 Seattle on Fox Sports Southwest. Folks down from the south, and we want you to wear your red out to the ballpark. We want to red out the ballpark. You can also enjoy dollar hot dogs courtesy of the Texas Chili Company. Just visit TexasRangers.com for tickets. Call 972 Rangers. Ketel Marte putting it in no man's land, and Rua able to glove it, but Marte able to leg it out for his first hit of the year. He's now 1 for 11.
Yeah, if you're Marte, it's nice to have some speed and be able to bunt. You turn a long offer into a base hit. Get yourself on the board for the season.
Kind of caught the right side of the infield a little bit off guard with that bunt, and
element of surprise and a well-placed bunt.
Yep. So 1 on, nobody out. Back to the top of the order, Leonis Martin. And Colby will work on Marte at first a bit. Martin, a strikeout and a home run today. Lined a home run in the 2nd inning, his first of the year. Marte, a pretty good lead at first. And a base hit to right. Another pitch that stayed up. And Chu gets to the ball quickly, so Marte stops at second. But 2 on with nobody out. And here comes Seager, Cano, and Cruz. Six hits now for the Seattle Mariners.
The Mariners have hit several off-speed pitches. That one stayed up. Martin, for the 2nd time, got an off-speed pitch. Hit a home run on an off-speed pitch up and out over the plate.
Seager drew a walk in the 1st inning and scored. There's an off-speed pitch that sneaks in for strike 1. Seager last time up went down swinging. Nice block by Brian Holiday. 1 ball and 1 strike. Seager had a good spring this year for the Seattle Mariners. Hit .321. Played 19 ball games down in Peoria. Two balls and 1 strike. Now Colby, 74 pitches under his belt as he works here in the 5th inning. He's had runners in every inning. The last 2 innings, though, he has worked out thanks to a double play and a caught stealing, facing only 3 hitters in each inning.
Tough situation here. 2 men on, no outs, a 3-1 count, and Cano is the next hitter. You can make a good pitch and maybe you'll hit a 1-hopper at somebody and turn a double play. Dangerous part of the lineup, though.
Three and 2. Yeah, and this is the part of the lineup that Jerry DiPoto and Scott Servais had envisioned when they beefed it up a little bit. Get guys on base ahead of Seager and Cano and Cruz. And so far, what we've seen in this series, with Marte batting 9th today, had Marte and Leonis Martin on base. Got him swinging. Boy, good pitch down and in.
The same pitch he struck him out to end the 2nd inning.
3rd strikeout for Colby Lewis.
It's a hard slider down and in. Same pitch, same swing.
Take a look at our Kubota power stats for today. We're talking about Colby Lewis, and last year, of course, Colby led the Rangers with 17 wins, 204 2/3 innings, and led him in strikeouts with 142. All those career highs for him. 5th in the American League. Colby's 17 W's last year. Breaking ball to Cano for strike 1. Cano, a 2-run home run back in the 1st inning. Skied to left field in the 3rd. Chopped it foul. Now Colby's execution now of his off-speed pitches has improved. What he got hurt with first time to Cano was an off-speed pitch, a changeup, and stayed up. And Cano drove it into the Ranger bullpen. Same thing happened with Leonis Martin's home run in the 2nd. Colby able to execute much more to his liking here as the game has gone on. Looking for a double play ball. Boy, and he had Cano set up for that pitch down and in. And Cano flinched at it if he'd been able to just entice him a little bit more.
That's what he got Seager to swing at. Cano thought about it, didn't offer at it though.
1 and 2. Runners on the move, pitch inside, the throw to second, and Leonis Martin is out from here to Dallas.
Now that's a force behind the plate right there. Didn't have a shot at the lead runner. I think a lot of times the second runner feels a little bit safe because he thinks the throw is going to go to 3rd. Brian never hesitated. He just gunned him down at second with a laser beam. 2 for 2.
That ball got down there pretty quick.
Sure did. So did the other one when he threw out Sardinas.
And now Holiday going to go out and have a little chat with Colby Lewis. Our TXU Energy power player to watch, and it would be Brian Holiday, boy, especially after those 2 throws. .438 average this spring with Detroit that we told you about, but We didn't tell you that he was the 2010 Johnny Bench Award winner at TCU. That goes to the top catcher in the college ranks. And Brian Holiday exhibiting the ability that they look for in that. He was given that very prestigious award.
We're seeing it today. Catching a pitcher for the first time, blocking everything he has a chance to block, and gunning down the 2 base runners who tried to steal.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Cano. Marte coming down the line from third. A rifle shot, but gloved nicely by Ryan Rua, and that'll do it. Again, Colby Lewis dancing around some difficulties. 2 hits and 1 man left. We played half the ball game. It's the Mariners 3, the Rangers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Well, still a 3-2 ball game, thanks in great part to the work of Brian Holiday behind the plate, throwing runners out. Justin Ruggiano starting things off, and he pops one in foul territory. That's handled by Adam Lynn for out number 1. So Ruggiano, who had an RBI double in the second, now 1 out of 2. And here comes Brian Holiday. Holiday, who grew up in Dallas, graduated from W.T. White High School before he went on to TCU. He pops one up. Back behind first base. Cano angling over. Coming on is Cruz. And Nelly Cruz, the right fielder, makes the grab for out number 2. Now before Hanser Alberto steps in, let's send it over to John Radigan for a Chevy game break. All right, John, thank you. Hanser Alberto takes strike 1. Alberto struck out in the second inning and finds himself down in the count 0-2 here.
Yeah, Miley has kind of gotten serious after Ruggiano's double in the second. The Rangers have 3 hits in the game, and they all came within a span of 4 hitters in the second inning, fortunately, so they bunched them together for a couple of runs. Not much since that double, though. In fact, nothing since that double.
Yeah, 10 straight sent down by Wade Miley. Hanser Alberto getting the start at shortstop today. And he chops one to his counterpart. That'll do it. 3 up, 3 down, 11 straight. Now retired by Wade Miley and the Mariners. We finished 5 at Arlington. Mariners leading the Rangers 3-2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Is the final game of a 3-game series with the Angels right here at Globe Life Park, and the first 7,500 kids 13 and younger will receive a Prince Fielder wiffle ball and bat. That's courtesy of McDonald's. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Ellie Cruz might have thought that pitch was kind of a wiffle ball pitch. It darted away from him and down for strike 1. Colby again showing you pretty good mastery of that slider. Cruz able to lay off the curveball, a little slower variety. Nelly this afternoon grounded a short, single to left. Cruz trying to take the ball the other way and fouls it out of play. Rangers with a shift on for Nelson Cruz. 3 players on the left side of the diamond. Now I guess the question is, why don't you see many right-handers that they put shifts on for in the infield the way you do against left-handers?
Yeah, what's the
I don't
answer?
know. I don't have any idea. That's the question.
Either. I guess more left-handers pull than right-handers on the ground is all I can think of.
You can probably count on maybe one or both hands the number of right-handed hitters you see a shift put on like that.
Yeah, not as many. Albert Pujols.
Yeah. There you go with the 3 Rangers on the left side with Odor and Alberto and Beltran.
I've always said, and I've never said this to anybody that didn't look at me like I was crazy.
Playable in right center.
But he stayed with it. Ian must have called for it, and he just stayed with it, and he was able to make the catch. But if you ran to third base instead of first base, instead of like hitting a ball and running to first, you ran the opposite way.
Right.
That right-handers would turn into the same kind of hitters as left-hand hitters, and left-hand hitters would turn into the same kind of hitters as right-hand. You know how left-hand hitters tend to slice the ball to left field?
Yep.
I've always thought it's because they are running slightly toward first base, which causes the ball to slice. Whereas a right-hand hitter, when he makes contact, he knows he has to go toward first base, and that keeps him from trying to pull the ball like that because he's got to go that way. He pushes the ball and he's running that way.
You're right. You're crazy.
See, you got the same look everybody else has.
I was told to do that.
Let's put it this way.
I agree with you.
That's my explanation why more left-handers pull the ball than right-handers. And based on the fact that I haven't heard any others, it's as good as anything.
No, I agree. I mean, that's a lot easier question, I think, to answer, and that's a very plausible explanation. A lot easier than why can't a left-hander throw the ball straight?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I have no idea on that one either.
Yeah. But it's true.
When I was watching, Bobby Jones and I were tossing a couple of balls in the cage before we came out to throw the first pitch. Bobby, when he throws left-handed, he can cut the ball. His ball doesn't tail away. But I think you have to make a conscious effort to do that.
Yeah. I think he's probably doctoring the baseball, too, knowing him.
But yeah, that is the age-old question. I've heard a lot of people come up with an explanation for that none of them have really sounded like the one that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't think that going to first base would have anything to do with the left-hander not throwing the ball straight.
No, I don't either.
It might fit. I don't know. Now, Colby Lewis giving Ian Desmond a little workout in center field this inning. A couple of fly balls to him.
But let's take Ichiro for an example. You know, a lot of those balls he hits to the left side, whether they're on the ground or in the air, it almost looks like he's taken one step toward first base. If he ran to third base first instead of first base, there's no way he would be going toward first base and then have to run to third base. Like, you'll never see a right-hand hitter step toward third, take almost a step to line a ball to right field, and then have to go to first base.
No, you're right. You're right. Maybe
they
Franco
tend
did
to swing like that and go more toward first base.
Yeah, and there are more right-handed hitters who are good opposite field hitters because of what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, and when a right-hander hits it to right field, we could ask some of the outfielders. I don't think it slices as much as it does from the left-hander. Boy, Colby's settling down too.
First time today that Colby has had a legitimate 1-2-3 inning. Nobody on base at all. After 5.5, Rangers still trail 3-2. It's time now for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $300 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Lynn Dodson from Carthage will win $300. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Lynn is going to take home $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And while we were telling you all about that, Shin-Soo Choo opens up the sixth inning with a solid base hit to right field. Now, Choo gets his first hit of the year. He's now 1 for 8. And Wade Miley, who has a very good pickoff move, and there it was right there. And that's not his best one, but he had 5 pickoffs last year, and that tied his career high for a season. He has picked off 19 in the last 6 years. Desmond at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Ian today has struck out, grounded to third. Chu's base hit, by the way, the 4th garnered by the Rangers this afternoon. Nestles onto the inside corner to even the count. Ian checking with Spike Owen down at third. See what Jeff Bannister might have in mind. Rangers trailing by a run here in the 6th inning. And a base hit to right field. Well, there's that slashing kind of hitting we talked about for Ian Desmond. He finally got a pitch up. It was on the plate that he could handle. And the Rangers have the runners aboard with nobody out for the middle of the order.
Now, when you start off the season, everything's magnified. If you have a couple big games, you're hitting 600. Or if you have a couple of bad games, you're hitting 092. But over the course of a season, it starts to even off. And you saw the kind of hitter Ian was in spring training. Using the whole field from foul line to foul line, hitting a lot of line drives.
Yep.
So we'll see a lot of that this year.
Mariners go into the shift with Prince Fielder up there. And ball 1 is in the dirt. Good look at the shift. Now with a runner at second, Kyle Seager, the third baseman, has to play reasonably close to third. So there's a huge hole at shortstop. You got Chu with good speed at second. Desmond runs real well at first. That ball is blistered to right. Way back. Goodbye. Lynn Dodson for Carthage. There you go. $300 in our Sonic Slam inning. And the first Ranger home run of 2016. Prince Fielder turns this game around.
Well, the Rangers have been waiting for a rally. They had a nice rally in the 2nd inning, 3 hits and 4 batters. Now they've been waiting for a rally and a big hit, and they get it from Prince. Looked like an off-speed pitch that stayed up in the strike zone, and Prince hit it same place Cano hit one the other night, up in the upper deck over the Ranger bullpen. Big hit for the Rangers. Let's see what that was. A hanging slider right down the middle of the plate, and Prince said, "Thank you very much."
Prince has hit enough of those. He knows that he doesn't have to flip the bat. He just kind of drops it by home plate and takes off. And Beltray tried to go left field into the 2nd deck. He fouled it back. So Prince Fielder, 23 home runs last year, gets his first of 2016. And the Rangers leading 5-3 now. Beltray 1 out of 2. He's had a couple of very healthy rips. He had Wade Miley's pitching. 0-2 the count. Well, the Rangers last year waited until the 4th game to have their first round tripper. And Beltray into the hole to left field, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Well, bat's been a little bit quiet, but they're warming up in the 6th inning. The Rangers have done a great job today of bunching their hits instead of spreading them out. 4 straight hits in the 6th, 3 and 4 hitters in the 2nd. The Rangers this time around starting to catch up. 3rd time up, starting to catch up with Miley a little bit.
Now the Rangers came in hitting just 133 as a team through the first 2 ball games. You knew that wasn't going to last very long, but they have gotten things going here against Miley. And Rougned Odor waving in a breaking ball for strike 1. Prince Fielder, a long home run, a 3-run jack. Got that into the upper tank right over the Ranger bullpen out there in right center field. 0-2. Odor a single in 2 trips. Rangers now 5 runs on 7 hits. Nice stop by Clevenger. That ball bouncing out in front of home plate. A very difficult breaking ball for a catcher to to gauge the bounce on. You know, last season, talking about Wade Miley, going through the lineup the third time, opponents hit 3 1/4 against him. About 100 points higher than any other time through the order. He gets a strikeout of Odor here. That's out number 1. 5th strikeout for Miley.
The Rangers are seeing that today. 3 hits through 5 innings and 4 hits here in the 6th inning. 3rd time through the lineup.
Ryan Rua, a couple of ground balls, 1 to short, 1 to second today. We're talking about Rua making the opening day roster last year. He got the starting nod in left field with a great spring and immediately fouled the ball off his foot and ended up breaking his foot. That was an ankle problem, but ended up being a fracture and sidelined him for the better part of the year. For all intents and purposes, it ruined his year. He came back and played at AAA a bit, but never was able to regain his rhythm and timing at the plate. Chop foul. Talked about him in the pregame that how difficult it had been for him. And he really dedicated himself over the winter and then came to the spring and it bore fruit. That .404 average on base plus slugging of almost 1,100. Got him swinging here as Miley pulling the string. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 gone with Beltre still at first. And Justin Ruggiato coming up. Well, folks, Spitballin' is a brand new Rangers podcast hosted by Ben Rogers and Jamie Newberg. You can get your Rangers news every week and enjoy expert analysis. Visit TexasRangers.com/podcast. Listen on your desktop, or you can subscribe to Texas Ranger Podcasts on iTunes. Ruggiano an RBI double in the 2nd inning. 1 out of 2 today. High pop foul that will work its way back into the seats down the first base side. 0-1. Ruggiano, the Texas native. The big cut in a miss. 0-2 now. Or 1-2, excuse me. We'll try it again in a ball and 2 strikes. Miley back to the plate. And a chopper foul. Our steel pitch tracker showing you Miley moving that ball around inside, outside, and even up and down. Good assortment of pitches. He had the Rangers baffled for a span of 11 hitters from the end of the 2nd through the 5th. But here in the 6th, it's caught up with him. 2 singles and a 3-run home run by Prince Fielder. The big fella. Two. Got him swinging. Oh, Miley gets himself together, ends up striking out the last 3 hitters that he faced, but that was after Prince Fielder unloaded to right field. A 3-run jolt. Rangers 3 runs on 4 hits and lead 1 of the inning. We'll move on to inning number 7. Rangers now leading 5-3. Our Ford game summary as we get set to go to the 7th inning. Robinson Cano got the Mariners on the board again in the first inning. It's a 2-run blast. But then the Rangers came back. Justin Ruggiano, an RBI double. Scored Rougned Odor. Rangers got back to within 1, but then Prince Fielder turned things around as he jolted one into the upper deck in right, a 3-run blast. Then Dotson won $300 in our Sonic Slam inning, and the Rangers have a 5-3 lead as Keone Kela now comes out of the bullpen to start off the 7th inning. Kela, the 22-year-old right-hander, and part of that bullpen that we've talked a lot about. It figures to be a big influence, a big force for the Rangers this year.
Yeah, Wade Miley's thrown the ball pretty well today. No walks, 7 strikeouts. I think when he goes to bed tonight, he's going to see that hanging slider that he threw to Prince Fielder again. Hasn't made a lot of bad pitches today. He's mixed his pitches up well, thrown a good game, and when it's all over and done with, he's given up 5 runs and 7 hits.
Luis Sardinhas 0 for 2 today. He's flied out and grounded out, and Kela straightens him up with a high tight fastball. Kela last year, his first foray into the major leagues, is 68 appearances. He ended up going 7-5 and 60 innings of work. Up the middle, that is into right center field. A base hit, looked like an off-speed pitch that Sardinhas able to get the good part of the bat on. He is aboard with a leadoff single.
Not a terrible pitch. It's a breaking ball, look like a curve ball. Down and away. Sardinhas just serves it out into center field. Made a little contact, found a hole.
The leadoff man aboard here in the 7th. Steve Clevenger, the catcher. Clevenger is grounded out twice, once to short, once to first. Well, the importance of having a 2-run lead as opposed to a single-run lead. The leadoff man gets aboard, and he's not the tying run. Got a little bit of wiggle room. Clevenger's the important one now, right now for Keone Kela. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3 misses. So Keone, who didn't have a walk issue last year by any means. He only had 18 base on balls and 60 innings of work. Now he's fallen behind Clevenger here with Sardinhas at first and nobody out, trying to protect the 2-run Ranger lead. There's a strike. Jake Diekman came in an opening afternoon and fell behind the first hitter he faced 3-0, came back and got him, and then it was lights out from there on. On the outside corner, 3-2.
One right on top of the other.
Ranger infield in at double play depth. Swung a couple of steps around to the right. Call strike 3.
Oh, that's coming back from a 3-0 count.
Clevenger didn't offer any argument to James Hoy, the home plate umpire, and you can see why. Splitting that inside corner. One gone. Here's Ketel Marte, who is 1 for 2. He dropped down a bunt single, leading off the 5th inning. And Adrian Beltre respecting that ability to bunt in at the cut of the grass down third. Mariners with pretty good speed now at the bottom of the order when Marte bats 9th and Sardinhas is hitting 7th. Sardinhas at first base with 1 away. Pop foul. That's going to reach the seats. Adrian will take a look, but it's back just over the commissioner's box. 1-1. Marte's bunt single in the 5th, his first hit of the year. It's now 1 for 11. Kella back to the plate, instead goes to first base. Vidal Nuno and Nick Vincent. Nuno, of course, the left-hander, and they're getting ready in the Seattle bullpen. Yoni Kella out of the Ranger bullpen to take over here in the 7th inning. Two balls and a strike. Kella last year faced Seattle 6 games. Ended up working 5 innings against the Mariners. Allowed just 1 unearned run. Of course, Keone grew up in the Seattle area, so kind of his hometown team. Two and two after the foul ball. Pretty nice crowd on hand here this afternoon. A beautiful sunshiny day this Wednesday afternoon matinee. Crowd looks to be as large, if not larger, than last night's crowd. Just under 30,000 last night. And crowd out here this afternoon looks to be in that area. 49,000 plus on opening day, the sellout. Can't beat the weather, say that for it. 2-2 from Kella. Looped up the middle into center for a base hit. Sardinius will stop at second.
Got the second hit in the inning off an off-speed pitch where the left-hand hitter just reached out trying to make some contact and served a soft ball into center field.
Well, folks, Papa John's and the Rangers have teamed up to honor club history every Thursday this season with a collectible Throwback Thursday pin. First edition honoring the Rangers' first game in 1972 will be given out to the first 10,000 fans at Globe Life Park on Thursday, April 14th, when the Rangers face the Baltimore Orioles. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. 2 on with 1 out. Now back to the top of the order. Leonis Martin, who is 2 for 3. Martin in a solo home run in the 2nd, singled in the 5th inning, and then was caught stealing. One of 2 very important caught stealings by Brian Holliday and the Rangers. Now Doug Brocail is going to go out and see if he can't calm things down. Keone a little bit inconsistent in this first outing. Doug, the Rangers' new pitching coach, going to go out there and work a little magic if he can. Brocail back to the dugout under the 30-second clock, so he was okay. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0. And that is a fastball right down the middle. 2-1. Jake Diekman up again in the Ranger bullpen. He has worked in each of the first 2 games of this opening series. Fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And you would look down after Leonis Martin, and you've got a pair of left-handed hitters in Seager and Cano. Cruz in there between another pair of left-handers, Adam Lynn and Seth Smith. There's Cano getting loose in that on-deck circle. Or I should say on the top step against Seager in the on-deck circle. Now we'll see what Keone and Brian Holiday come up with here. Keone's given up a pair of singles, soft singles, on off-speed pitches. He went with it again, got that in on the fist of Leonis Martin. Kella, as we mentioned, 22 now. He's turning 23 on April the 16th. Got him swinging. Came back with a good fastball at 94. And a very big strikeout. 2 gone, and Kyle Seager coming up.
A couple of soft singles to center and a couple of big strikeouts. Now you wade right into the middle of the lineup right here. Nothing fancy there. Here's my fastball. Best I've got, right down the middle of the plate. See what you can do with it. Wasn't able to catch up with it.
Well, here's Seager, who is 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts and a walk with a run scored. All 3 of those at bats against the starter Colby Lewis. Seager 0 for 1 in previous matchups against Kella. One ball, no strikes. A lot of these Ranger pitchers taking notes from on last night. You don't see a whole lot of first pitch fastballs right down the middle.
That's right.
That's just off the outer edge. 2-0.
Come on now.
Kella, a little bit of an inconsistent inning. This is going to be his 24th pitch of this 7th frame. And he pumps it right in there. Thigh high for a strike. 2-1.
Was that his first outing last year in Oakland where he loaded the bases, he was struggling, and then got the double play ball to get out of that inning?
Yeah, and Fielder came over and gave him a little talking.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Good breaking ball.
That's the breaking ball he wants.
2-2.
The 2 that were served into center field weren't bad pitches, but that's his good one right there. Sharp breaker right down below the knees.
Yeah, this crowd getting up, applauding for Keone Kella and the Rangers. The young right-hander trying to work out of a jam. In the dirt. Runners trying to advance, and they will. That ball about 20 feet up the third baseline, and before Brian Holiday could get there, Sardinius moves to third, Marte to second.
26 pitches for Keone. You have to think Jake is warm in the bullpen. If he doesn't retire Seager, there's probably a pretty good chance that Diekman will come in to face Cano.
Yep.
Came in last night. Was his 2nd straight appearance, but he only faced 1 hitter last night.
If memory serves, he only threw 1 pitch. I think he got the out on the first pitch.
Yeah, it might have been.
And the pitch is high and inside for ball 4. That loads him up. And we will see as the skipper on the top step. He is on his way to the mound, and he wants Jake Diekman to come in with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 7th inning. Robinson Cano will be the hitter. Well, Keone Kella a couple of hits, a couple of strikeouts, and 1 walk, and he is finished for the afternoon after a 27-pitch outing. So Diekman coming on. We'll come back and tell you all about Jake Diekman, who enters a 5-3 game in favor of the Rangers. We'll be back after this. A free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Just go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Now, the 29-year-old left-hander Jake Diekman on now, and he has inherited 3 runners. And he will face Robinson Cano. So the life of a left-handed reliever in the big leagues. Tail end of a ball game, you get guys like Cano in spots, and that's exactly what Diekman has inherited. Jake has now appeared in all 3 ball games for the Rangers this year. He's only the 5th Ranger ever to do that, the first since Darren Oliver back in 2010. 1 ball and no strikes.
He faced Cano in the first ball game and was tough on him. He struck him out on a great slider. Cano looked like he was taken on that pitch.
Now, Mariners at every base with 2 outs. And there's a breaking ball that just missed. A little bit low. It's 2-0.
Yep, 2 sliders couldn't get Cano to chase.
Cano, a home run in the first, a 2-run blast. He also flied to left and grounded to first. Jake Diekman, a Nebraska native. Ball 3. Now, no place to put Robinson Cano. Got the bases full of Mariners with Sardinius at third, Marte at second, and Seager at first. No guarantee that Robinson Cano is going to take this pitch either. He did. 3-1. Pretty good career with the bases loaded for Cano. 9 grand slams over the years. Ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. Taken all the way there, and it's 3-2.
Came back through a couple fastballs for strikes.
Crowd now rising. Trying to get behind Jake Diekman and the Rangers. Texas on top, 5-3 here in the 7th inning. The Mariners have gotten a lot going. They have the bases loaded and 2 outs with Robinson Cano at the plate. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. That walks in a run. Cano's bat never left his shoulder. Walked on a 3-2 pitch. That run charged to Keone Kela. And the bases remain loaded. It's now a 5-4 Ranger advantage. And again, Jeff Bannister headed out to the mound. That is going to do it for Jake Diekman. So Diekman asked only to face the right-hander Cano. Ends up walking him on a 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be the end of his afternoon. Jeff Bannister taking the ball from Diekman, and a little pat on the backside. So that'll do it for Jake. Another pitching change here in the top of the 7th inning. We will take a timeout. We're back to Globe Life Park right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. A run across, bases loaded, 2 outs. Rangers leading 5-4 here in the 7th inning. Nelson Cruz is going to be the hitter, and Sam Dyson, the 27-year-old from Tampa Bay, Florida, is on now. 75 games last year. Came over to the Rangers in that trade deadline deal with the Marlins. Sam, in the last part of the season for the Rangers, appeared in 31 ball games, was 2-1 with a 1.15 ERA. He inherits 3 runners aboard. Nelly Cruz at the plate. And a broken bat looper to center. Desmond got a good break coming in, and Ian there to make the catch, and Dyson throws 1 pitch and gets out of the jam. So a run on a couple of hits, but the Mariners leave them loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. 5-4 Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest.
On to a 5-4 lead over the Mariners as we head to the bottom of the 7th here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. And this offseason, as many offseasons are, spent by the Texas Rangers doing good works in their community. Things like the Cowboy Santa toy drive, the Winter Caravan, and of course, one of our favorites, the hospital visits around Christmas time.
I think anytime you're able to come to a hospital and see children that are in special need of care, and when you're able to see them go through the types of surgeries at such a young age that they're going through, it takes a lot of courage. And if we're able to hopefully provide some sort of energy and excitement for them to look forward to, and that's what we're here for.
Buzz and Tom, we all get to be a part of those, and they really are special visits and such perspective they give us, especially at that time of year. So it's awesome work that the Rangers do in the off season and throughout the year as well.
Exactly right, Em. Thanks very much. Great piece, and that is really important. The Rangers give back to the community in a lot of ways that many people don't really realize the depth of the commitment the Rangers have to the community. Well, Nick Vincent on to start the 7th inning. Takes over for Wade Miley. Miley, 6 innings of work. He's been charged with all 5 runs on 7 hits. We saw Vincent in last night's game, worked an inning. Up here facing Brian Holiday to start things off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Brian hasn't had a hit yet today, but he has sure made his presence known defensively. He's gunned down 2 runners trying to steal. One in what looked like a rally situation as well.
And Nick Vincent gets the strikeout of Brian Holiday, and that's how the bottom of the 7th begins. And speaking of Brian Holiday, how about our AT&T high-speed internet replay? That is a high-speed throw down there to second, and the snap tag right on top of the runner's head.
He gets rid
2
of the
for
ball
2
quickly with something on it.
Our AT&T high-speed internet replay for you. Yeah, that. We didn't speed that up either. That's actual speed of that. And excuse me, check swing blooper to right. Cruz coming on, and he tracks it down. Well, Hanser Alberto trying to loop one in, almost got it done. And before Shin-Soo Choo steps in, let's send it over to John Radigan for a Chevy game break. All right, John, thank you.
Tampa Bay salvages the series, 2 apiece.
Chu takes strike 1. Shin-Soo, a base hit his last time up, his first knock of the year. Came around to score as Prince Fielder let him trot in on that long home run. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vincent cutting that pitch inside, and Chu could do nothing more than just fight it off foul. Infield in that overshift for the left-handed hitting Chu, and the outfield maybe a step around to the right. Kind of bunched toward the alleys a bit. See a lot of room down the left field line and right field line for Chu. Two and two. He went, couldn't check his swing in time, and Nick Vincent has a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. We have finished 7th. The Rangers clinging to a 5-4 lead over the Mariners here at Globe Life Park.
Time for the progressive fan of the game. You got to give it to the Slinker family. They take the day off from work to come watch the Rangers play from Forney, and they love the Rangers so much. Your daughter's name is who?
Odor.
Adore, because why?
She's adorable.
Adorable. How old is she?
6 months.
All right, and then the son, and his name is who?
This is Pudge.
Pudge, after your favorite player, right? Pudge Rodriguez. All right, well, that is fan of the game material right there. Congratulations. Enjoy those Cheetos, Pudge. You keep going there, big guy. Good to have you out here. Appreciate it, Buzz.
I like Pudge and Odor. I like that.
Odor's just been staring at Noxie while he's talking.
Oh, goodness. Sam Dyson back out now to start the 8th inning. He's dealing to Adam Lynn. He'll be followed by Seth Smith and Luis Sardinhas. Oh, yeah, take a bite out of that windscreen. We could do that right on the microphone.
Oh, no, you're going to lose it.
Noxie, I think she wants to take that home with her.
You're going to have a lot of slobber on it now, Buzz.
Well, Noxie doesn't have a cold.
Off the end of the bat, a little roller out to Odor. That is out number 1. Lynn retired. Seth Smith coming up. I want to pass along birthday wishes to our illustrious director, the Emmy Award-winning director, Dave Burchett. Don't know how old.
How
Dave,
old is the veteran?
Don't know how. Excuse me, how old Dave is, but I know we have a fire brigade standing by down at the truck in case they light the candles on the fire.
He's got to be fairly old because Mark Holtz gave him the nickname the Veteran.
Yeah.
20 years ago. So if he was a veteran 20 years ago, he's in his 34th year now. Congratulations, Dave, and happy birthday.
Surprised you made it. No, I'm not surprised you made it this long. Just kidding, Dave.
Now, my career as a broadcaster pretty much has occurred while every person in the truck has been here. They've all been here at least 21 years. Almost every one of them. So as long as I've been here, it's been the same great group down there.
Seth Smith taking high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Smith, couple of walks and a strikeout today. First time that he has faced Sam Dyson. Dyson came in to get the final out of the 7th inning. Got a fly ball from Nelly Cruz to end things. A very tense situation with the bases full. And 2 outs when Sam came in the ball game. Now it's fallen behind 3-0. Joaquin Benoit loosening in that Mariner bullpen.
Joaquin has been with a lot of teams since he left the Rangers, and he has become a premier late inning bullpen pitcher.
In ball 4. Well, Smith draws his 3rd walk of the afternoon. He is the tying run now at first base with 1 out. And Luis Sardinhas coming up. Sam Dyson, who last year only walked 4 in 31 innings with the Rangers. There's a walk here this afternoon. 1 on, 1 out. Sardinhas 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the 7th inning. Switch hitter up there from the left side. Very speedy player, Luis Sardinhas. And the pitch outside for ball 1. Brian Holliday going to go out and have a chat with Sam Dyson. These two have not had a chance to work together very much, so I'm sure that there's not much that Brian Holliday can tell Sam about what he has seen from him before. But a lot of times it's positioning in a situation like this. It's positioning where the target is set up. Might be Sam's control is such that, hey, just go ahead and sit in the middle of the plate and I'll try and make the ball move to you.
Yeah, with quick innings, the Rangers could have avoided facing Cano and Cruz in the 9th inning. But with a base runner or 2, those guys are going to get their 5th at bat. Maybe hit into a double play.
The sinking fastball in at the knees. Two and one now. Yeah, double play would be good right here. Sardinhas not an easy guy to double up, though. He gets down that line pretty well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bright sunshine here at Globe Life Park as Sam Dyson tries to work around a 1-out walk. Rangers leading 5-4. The right-hander's ready. There's a double play grounder.
That's what we're talking about.
Odor turns it. And Sardinius may be fast, but you can't outrun that. 6-4-3. Dyson, the specialty 2-ball, gets the Rangers out of the 8th inning. 7.5 in the books. Rangers 5, Mariners 4. Fox Sports Southwest.
The finale of this 3-game series by a score of 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. This is the finale of the opening homestand of the season. It is out on the road to the West Coast after today's game. We are headed to Anaheim and then Seattle, beginning a 4-game series with the Angels beginning tomorrow. That game can be seen at 9 o'clock Texas time on Fox Sports 1. There you see a couple of the young stars in the game going toe-to-toe tomorrow night. We thank the folks at AT High-Speed Internet for getting us ready for Game 1 between the Rangers and the Angels tomorrow, guys.
All right, and thank you. Well, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, and a very familiar face, the now 38-year-old right-hander Joaquin Benoit on the hill for the Seattle Mariners. Dealing to Ian Desmond, and that is a swinging strike 1. Benoit broke into the major leagues with the Rangers back in 2001. He had been up and down with the Rangers from 2001 until 2008. Battled arm injuries and surgery in there.
Yeah, the year that really turned it around for him was 2010. After he'd left the Rangers, he had a bad year with the Rangers, had some injuries. Then he went to Tampa Bay and had a 1.34 ERA. And his best years have been probably after the age of 33 or 34. Still going strong.
Yeah, that 1 year down in Tampa Bay got him the 3-year contract with the Tigers.
It did.
And he really, he hadn't looked back after that.
Well, there's 3 straight cutters. And it's a good one. He's got a mid-90s fastball, and he's got a terrific changeup. He has 3 pitches that can strike you out, and Ian saw the cutter 3 straight times.
You know, Benoit last year with San Diego appeared in 67 ball games. He tried closing a couple of times. His last year with Detroit, he had 24 saves. And the first year in San Diego ended up with 11 saves, been in 53 ball games that year. And he is really a preeminent 8th inning kind of guy. Specialization in the bullpen allows guys to kind of slot themselves into the portion of the ball game where they feel most comfortable and have the most success. Prince Fielder has been the big story here this afternoon. Crunched a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. And this is what turned the ball game around off Wade Miley. And you can see Miley's reaction. There wasn't much doubt that thing was leaving the ballpark.
Yeah, Miley made a lot of good pitches today. Really had the Rangers off balance. And boy, if there's ever a case where you say he'd want that one back, that was it. Hanging slider at the wrong time.
2-1 to Fielder in this track. And Sean Tollison getting set in that Ranger bullpen. He will have at least a 5-4 lead to work with. Now Miley, oddly enough, the Rangers had 7 hits off of him. They were bunched in the 2 innings that the Rangers scored.
They were.
He had 2 runs on 3 hits in the 2nd inning and 3 runs on 4 hits in the 6th inning. And that's it. Rangers did not have a base runner in an inning other than the 2nd or the 6th against Miley.
No, it's not like he ran out of gas either, because after the Rangers had the 4 hits and the 3 runs, he struck out 3 straight batters to end the 6th inning. So he was throwing the ball at the end just as well as he was at the beginning. Just made that one pitch, and Prince made him pay for it.
Fielder takes it high and away. That fills the count. So Prince trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Adrian Beltre will follow. Matter of fact, after the work that Nick Vincent did, Rangers still haven't had a runner in an inning other than those 2 that they scored. Payoff pitch from Benoit. And Prince is aboard for the 2nd time. Folks, the AL West Division, Houston Astros come to town from the 19th of April through the 21st. It's the first 3 games of the Silver Boot Series. And it's sponsored by the Texas Lottery. Wear your red out here and enjoy a great promotion or giveaway each night of that series. Visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS for tickets. And Delino DeShields has entered the ball game, taking over as a pinch runner for Prince Fielder. A big run that DeShields carries now. Adrian Beltre takes outside for ball 1. Rangers would love to, at least steal a run here if they possibly can, add to that 1-run lead. Beltre 2 for 3 with a pair of singles today. Benoit has kind of reinvented himself as far as holding guys on. He's still very methodical when he gets people on base, even more methodical than he is otherwise. But he has tried to do some things to quicken up his move to the plate, his move to first base, and at times he just says, oh, the heck with it, I'm having trouble throwing strikes, I'm going to be slow. And when he does that, he's easy to run on. 1 ball, 1 strike now. I guess the hard thing as a base runner is picking out which one what his mindset is. Delino trying to gauge the move of Benoit. He's on the move. The pitch is outside. Throw to second. They got him. Good throw by Clevenger and right on the bag, and didn't look like Delino had a very good jump, a very good read on Benoit. Get a good close-up of that tag down there at second. So 2 gone, bases are empty now. And Beltre takes the off-speed pitch down. It's 3 balls and a strike. Adrian batting cleanup. He'll be followed by Rougned Odor, the Rangers' second baseman. Outside, Beltre takes the walk. A back-to-back walks, but the caught stealing erased the first one. Now Odor comes up. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Scott Service, first-year manager for the Mariners. Tim Bogar, the bench coach. Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach. Odor singled and scored back in the second inning. Rougned 0 for 2 in his career against Joaquin Benoit. Oh and 1. Benoit back to the plate, and the pitch popped foul back into the seats. Rougned from Maracaibo, Venezuela. One ball and 2 strikes. Rougned made his major league debut in May of 2014. Ended up taking over the second base job at that point. That was the year that Jurickson Profar was hurt in spring training, and he figured to be the starting second baseman, but blew his arm out, and Rangers decided in May to bring Odor to the big leagues, and Luis Sardinas at that time, as a matter of fact. Odor played well enough to win the second base job outright, and opened last year, as we've talked about, a disastrous April. And he had to go down to AAA for a while, get himself right. Ended up hitting .352 at Round Rock in 30 ball games down there, and that convinced the Rangers he'd gotten the mission accomplished to get his personality back on the edge where it was before. He came back and was a stellar player for the Rangers. Leans on that off-speed pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Odor facing Benoit. Odor is hitting 5th in the order. Ryan Rua, the next scheduled hitter, look down to the on-deck circle, and we see Mitch Moreland has grabbed a bat and come out to ostensibly pinch hit for Rua. Lind takes it to the bag himself, and that'll do it for the Rangers. A couple of walks, but 1 left. We're going to the 9th inning, and it is tally time at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Rangers leading the Mariners 5-4 on Fox Sports Southwest. The Mariners by 1, and the Rangers have turned to their closer, Sean Tollison, asking him to get the final 3 outs. Rangers, by the way, today from Colby Lewis got their 3rd consecutive quality start in their starters, and it joins Cole Hamels and Martin Perez. Great job by all 3 of them starting off this season with quality outings, and now Sean Tollison, who had a quality outing on opening day as he had a 1-2-3 ninth inning with a couple of strikeouts to record his first save. Of course, Sean Tollison, 36 straight saves, or I should say 36 out of 38 saves, going back to May 20th of last year when he took over the closer's role. Steve Clevenger is not hitting. It's Aoki, as a matter of fact. And he slaps one through the right side. So Norichika Aoki coming on as a pinch hitter for Clevenger. And he slaps one right up the middle. The Mariners have the tying run aboard with nobody out. And before we tell you about Ketel Marte, let's send it over to John Radigan.
Yeah, sitting on the edge of my seat here with Pudge and Mac, all of us doing the same, a little high drama, nothing like that to get the juices flowing after the game and the dramatic conclusion. We'll be here to wrap it all up. Rangers Live, a post-game edition. We'll hear from Jeff Bannister and some of the players right after the game, guys.
All right, John, here's Ketel Marte, who is 2 for 3. Time called just before Tollison went into that to his motion. That was a good job by Tollison. There's what we were talking about last night, I guess it was.
Go.
Yeah, if you have started into your motion in earnest and time is called, continue. Go ahead and throw the ball. That is in for a strike. Matter of fact, a situation like that, if you think about it, if you can train yourself to do it and recognize the situation, whatever pitch you were going to throw something else up there so the hitter doesn't see what your intentions were. 0-1 the count to Marte. Showed bunt, took a strike anyway. He had Adrian Beltre about a third of the way down the line toward home plate. But 0-2 is the count. Now, the Rangers this afternoon have turned a couple of double plays. This wouldn't be a bad spot for another one. Aoki at first. Tollison, the 28-year-old out of Allen, Texas. Little looper to left field. That is going to fall for a base hit. My goodness, Marte swinging a magic wand as he was out there, just able to flick the bat and dropping it into no man's land down the left field line. And the Mariners now have runners at first and second, nobody out. Here in the 9th inning, in the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, the last 4 hits have been pretty much the same thing. There's a pretty good ball down and away, and all Marte does is get the bat on it. Last inning, they hit a couple of soft balls into center field. This inning, Aoki hit a soft ground ball just out of the reach of Odor, and now the little blooper to left. Now what it does is sets up the batting order for Seattle with Cano, Seager, Cano, and Cruz having a chance to hit this inning possibly.
Leonis Martin at the plate, and he had a pretty good talk with Manny Acton, the third base coach, so that Acton made his intentions clear, and the Rangers put the wheel play on. They had Alberto racing over to third and Odor racing to first.
I couldn't tell if he bunted at it or not. Let's see. Yeah, he bunted at it with a wheel play on and missed it. I mean, that's when you put that play on, you want him to bunt it. If he made contact with it, Rangers pick up an out at third base.
Yep.
If you're the batter and you see the wheel play, you don't want to bunt it because there's nowhere you can bunt it. You got 3 people surrounding you. You bunt it to any one of them, they're going to pick it up and throw it to Alberto covering third.
That's right.
So the play was successful. The only thing that spoiled it was Martin missed the fastball and didn't bunt it.
0-1 the count to Martin, who has a single and a home run this afternoon. 2 out of 4. Not showing bunt there. Pulls the bat back away from the low fastball. And again, Martin out of the batter's box, checking with third base coach Maniacta, who went through a series of signs. See Adrian Beltre sneaking in, playing side set, keeping an eye on the runner and also the action at home plate. Loop to left field, that is in for a base hit. Aoki will come around third and score. Now being stopped at third is Marte. Ruggiano had a little trouble getting the ball, but the Mariners have tied it. Back-to-back bloop hits. And the Mariners not only have tied the ball game, they have the go-ahead runs at second and third and nobody out. And Kyle Seager coming up.
Not much you could do about those hits. That ball jammed Martin. And a little blooper down the left field line. So a little dribbler up the middle and a couple of bloopers. And Seattle's in a dangerous situation right here.
That's going to force the Rangers to pull the infield all the way in, and you'd like to be able to pitch around Kyle Seager, but you've got Robinson Cano following him in the order. So that's not a real good idea. Seager a pair of walks today and a pair of strikeouts. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Sean Tollison with the blown save in his second outing of 2016. Just his third blown save going back to last May. 39 opportunities. Off speed, catches the outside corner. Tollison ready. To left field, that is trouble if it's fair. Into the corner, it is a foul ball. Ruggiano shading Seager slightly toward left center and had no chance to get there. If that ball was fair, that scores 2 runs, and that is not good. But Rangers catch a little good fortune there and have that fall in foul territory. No, 1 ball and 2 strikes the count as everybody resets. Seager in his career with runners in scoring position, just about a .250 hitter. Rangers with the infield in. 2-2. Alberto and Odor up the middle, right at the cut of the grass, and Odor about midway between second and first. Ryan Rua, the first baseman, playing a couple of steps off the bag. The 2-2 pitch. Didn't miss by much. Full count.
He's trying to throw the fastball in. He throws it in and just barely didn't get the call.
And Holiday trying to bring that back just enough, but James Hoy would not buy it. Up the middle, base hit. 1 run is home. Here comes Leonys Martin. He scores, and a 2-run single by Kyle Seager gives the Mariners a 7-5 lead, and they have not retired a batter here in the 9th inning. Kyle Seager continuing to be a Ranger nemesis, especially in this ballpark. A .348 lifetime hitter here in Arlington. Collison not really wanting to take the chance of putting Seager on, had to throw a strike to him. Cano backing him up, and Seager made him pay on that 3-2 pitch. Tony Barnett loosening in that Ranger bullpen. He is ready if needed. The 4 consecutive hits. 3 singles and a double, and that really was the first ball that was hit sharply. And this one is rocketed to center field. Desmond going back at the track, at the wall. It is gone. Second home run of the afternoon for Cano. Another 2-run blast. It is 9-5 Seattle.
Seattle put together some big innings yesterday late in the game. Bunched a whole bunch of hits together, and here we are again in the 9th.
Well, that's going to do it for Sean Tolleson, who's not able to retire a hitter, and Cano zeroing in on the seats. He was able to drive it to almost dead center field. Got it out of the ballpark. His 4th home run in the first 3 games of 2016. I think to say that Cano is making sure he doesn't get off to a slow start again is an understatement. Tony Barnett on his way in from the bullpen. Mariners have taken a 9-5 lead, and we'll tell you about Tony when we come back right after this. Five runs here in the 9th inning. Sean Tolleson not able to get an out, and he gives way to Tony Barnett, making his 2nd appearance in as many days. And Barnett wasn't able to have much good luck in his major league debut yesterday. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of runs on 3 hits. In here to face Nelly Cruz. Line drive, and Beltre right there makes the grab. That is out number 1. Well, Cruz 1 out of 5 after that line drive. It'll bring up Adam Lind. Tony Barnett, 32-year-old right-hander, and yeah, he just did make his major league debut yesterday. Spent the last 6 years over in Japan honing his craft. Tony, Anchorage, Alaska native. Grew up in the Seattle area and pitched at Arizona State University. Lind takes outside for ball 1. Arizona Diamondbacks drafted Barnett in the 10th round of the 06 draft. Two balls, no strikes. Tony went over to Japan to start the 2010 season. He was a starter at that point and made the conversion to the bullpen the next year. 2-1. 2012, his second year working out of the bullpen. He led the league with 33 saves. And then last year in Japan, he had 41 saves, also leading the league. 2-2 now to Lynn. And we'll come back and try another 2-2 pitch.
The first three guys in the lineup for the Mariners have driven in all the runs. Martin and Seager 2 and Cano 5.
We talked about against this the Seattle club, against a right-handed starter, can really load it up with left-handers, and they're quality left-handed hitters.
Cano's had 4 hits this year. Every one of them's been a home run.
Barnett with another 2-2. Tony off the mound. Takes it to first himself. That is out number 2. Well, Barnett gets a couple of quick outs, and now Seth Smith coming up. Good job of fielding your position by Barnett.
That was going to be a tough play otherwise.
Seth Smith handling the DH chores this afternoon. Has walked 3 times in this ball game. Only official at bat, he had a strikeout. Steve Cishek, newly installed as a closer for the Seattle Mariners, loose in that bullpen. 0-1. A ball and a strike. Looking forward now to the bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers were hoping to avoid that, but you've got Rua, Ruggiano, and Holiday, first 3 scheduled hitters. Two balls and 1 strike. Seth Smith, always a very patient hitter. Pretty tough to get him to go outside the strike zone. The 2-1. Barnett, that unusual set position, hands behind his right hip. Going the other way, and Smith has at least a single. He will stop at first base. Pretty nice piece of hitting by Seth Smith.
That hole is there for a lot of left-hand hitters if they can do this. That ball was kind of tailing away from him, stayed up. That was a perfect pitch to hit that way.
And that's where you've got to adjust your thinking, I think, as a pitcher. With that, it may be the right pitch in your mind if the infield is playing in a normal setup, but with the shift on, well, you almost can't afford to make the pitch away to a left-handed hitter like that. Lining one to our left field and into the glove of Ruggiano as Justin came on. Sardinius a hard out, but that'll do it. However, the Mariners score 5 times before there was an out. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, 9-5, Seattle. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By AT high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Rangers now some work to do after the Mariners put a 5 spot on the board in the top of the 9th inning. They have a 9-5 lead, and it will be Ryan Rua to face Steve Cishek. He'll be working to a new battery mate. Chris Iannetta has come into the ball game to take over behind the plate. Cishek last year working with the Cardinals part of the year and the Marlins. Very effective, kind of a funky delivery. And he fires a strike on the outside corner. Ryan Rua 0 for 3, a couple of groundouts and a strikeout today. 0-2. Cishek tried his hand at closing a couple of other times with the Marlins in 2013 and 14. He had 73 saves over a 2-year span. Part of that Cardinal bullpen last year that took him into the postseason. Cishek, a 29-year-old, tried the breaking ball, and Rua able to lay off of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 2-2. Cishek played his college ball at Carson Newman College in Tennessee. He's a Massachusetts native. Call, strike 3. Not an angle that most hitters are accustomed to seeing a ball delivered from, and Cishek makes it tough on Ryan Rua.
He does a good job of running the fastball at 91 miles an hour in on the fist after several hard sliders on the outside corner. Tough combination against a right-hand hitter. You can see the spin on it, causing that ball to tail into the right-hand hitter.
One away. Justin Ruggiano takes strike one. Seager backs up to get the big hop. Fires high, but Lind able to come down on the bag. That is out number 2.
Catcher Brian Holiday.
Good camera work there to bring in the pictures of that play at first base. No, 2 gone now. Brian Holiday takes a strike. Holiday a pop out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Center field, Leonis Martin started back a little bit. Now comes on, makes the catch, and Rangers go quietly in the 9th. They cannot answer the 5 spot that the Mariners put on the board in the top of the 9th. The Mariners end up winning the rubber game of this 3-game series. 9-5 the final. We will get the totals up for you, and we'll be back to wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.